Hi guys, Ursa Dia here, and I'm back with another Otomania episode, and the day that I am recording this is April 2nd, which is the day after April Fool's. Now, April Fool's is a very interesting holiday when it comes to just about anything, honestly, but especially Otome games, because I feel like it's a holiday that most Otome games look over, but on the other hand, a lot of them actually do celebrate, which is kind of weird. So each year I look forward to kind of seeing like what each game or series kind of does with April Fools, because it is a very, I feel like, American holiday. And so it's always interesting to see if they will do something. And yesterday, I saw a pretty decent amount of kind of interesting jokes. Like, for example, Ikimen Revolution had a contest where you could redecorate your Ikirev room and kind of make it very wacky and send it to them on Twitter. I was going to do that, but I spent so much time reorganizing my Ikirev room for Ray's birthday that I was not going to mess that up for April Fools. But I thought that was so awesome, and seeing some of like the actual completed rooms that people had were so funny. Wannabe Challenge didn't do a whole lot, but they at least allowed you to change your profile picture to one of their characters' Tehi instead of just what your avatar looked like. So I thought that was something small, but it was a nice little touch. The main April Fool's joke I wanted to talk about, and you might be able to tell from the title, I don't know what I'm calling this yet, but Obey Me. We've talked about Obey Me a couple of times on here. It was one of the first games that I reviewed. They pulled a very interesting April Fool's joke in which they literally set it up the day before, in which they had tweeted out saying, like, to make sure you go on, like, they said, the RAD Newspaper Club has obtained information that something is going to happen tomorrow. Details are unknown. Please open the Obey Me app and see for yourself. And so, obviously, everybody expected, oh, it's going to be an April Fool's joke. And so then, when you opened it, and it only happens the first time you opened it, it played a 3-minute clip of like an animation with all the voice actors and like the characters together. And then at the end, it announced an anime. And then the Obey Me official social medias didn't say a single thing about it until today. So, for the entirety of April Fools, my feed on Instagram and on Twitter was everybody freaking out because we didn't know if it was 100% confirmed we're getting an anime, or if it was just a very, very well crafted and cruel joke that played out very well. And so I've spent the last probably 16-ish hours, I don't really remember how long it's been since I originally watched the video when I opened the game, but I've spent this entire time being like, is this real? Do I trust Obey Me? Other games, I would probably trust. Obey Me, I don't trust. Like, it's literally a game where the main characters are the 7 deadly sins. Like, they like to play games like this. So I was just like, this looks very well animated. It could be real. But then I was like, it also just has the same animation as the game's original opening. So I'm like, it could just be very fake. And so it was very interesting. And then, like, later towards, like, the end of the day, they ended up saying, like, did you see, like, this year's surprise already? Like, if you haven't, like, you should, and stuff. And then they didn't officially, like, announce anything until today. And it was, like, weird because by the end of the night, I figured it was real because you would get a notification saying that there was a new login bonus, and the login bonus was the anime announcement bonus. So by that point, I was like, okay, this seems legit at this point. This doesn't seem like a joke. If it is a joke, they're really going hard. Because I did think at first, I was like, what if they're just using this as, like, a way to bait people into, like, opening the app to view the video? But I think I got, like, the notification, like, twice, and, like, one of the times it was, like, really late at night, so I was just like, okay, even if you were in, like, Pacific Standard Time, like, this is a bit, like, late. So I ended up being like, okay, I think I'm gonna believe this. But, you know, I'm gonna wait till, like, it officially gets, like, confirmed. And so earlier today, on their official Twitter and on their Instagram, they did announce that they literally said the April Fool's surprise, but then they, like, officially announced that, yes, they are getting an anime, and it is set for summer. So that is really, really exciting. They're keeping the game's voice actors, which I think is so great. Especially because they're very good voice actors, but they're not very well known. So I think that if they were to do this anime, like, it could probably help them a lot in their careers. So I'm really excited about that. But what I really wanted to do today, even though I've kind of talked for a bit, is I kind of want to rewatch, because I only seen it once. I want to rewatch the 3-minute clip that they released and kind of, like, talk about it and, like, break it down a bit. So let's pull that up. So it's called the Obey Me Special Anime Devildom Family Trip Official, starring the Obey Me voice cast. And so it, like, starts off. Okay. So I'm really pleased. Like, I originally watched this on my phone because that's where I had the game. But I just, like, love the animation style. Like, if they keep this animation style throughout the entire anime, I think it'll probably be one of the better animated Otome game, like, animes that I've seen. I love this part because it's like a play on, like, bet versus bed, which I thought was really funny. Voice acting is just so good. And I love how they, like, switch things up to make, like, the digital, like, 8-bit world for Levi. Like, I feel, just from, like, watching this, like, the comedy, I just think, can be so well played in this anime. Like, each of the characters just has such, like, a strong personality, and the writers are really good at, like, sticking to their personalities. So I'm super excited. I'm also really excited, Osmo's voice actor actually sings, like, the opening and, like, the theme song for Obey Me. So I'm really excited to hear his opening for the actual anime, and I'm hoping that the entire cast will do the ending. That's gonna be my bet. I love that part so much. Like, just Lucifer just not even like actually like hurting Beale, just like poking him in the head. I do have to say, I was not expecting Belfi to like drool as much as he is. But I do think it's cute that he's just like sleep talking. God, the animation just looks so good. Like, there is a slight disconnect between like the background and like the characters themselves, but I think it's a lot worse in the game. So I actually don't mind it in the anime, but in the game I still don't like the disconnect between how the characters look and how the background looks. This one at least like looks much better. Also, I love MC being like this little sheep. I don't know if they're just like put that there as like a fun thing. Like, I really want to know if they're going to make an MC or if it's going to be like one of the ones where there's not actually an MC. But I'll get into that more in a second. But you get to like the end and they're like announcing Obey Me, the anime, coming this summer. And they released that on April Fools. And so I literally watched that and I was just like, do I believe this? Do I not believe this? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? But it is official and I'm excited for it. So I kind of want to just talk for a little bit about like what I think is going to happen. And so I'm really interested in the direction that it's going to take because, like I was kind of saying towards the end there, like, they didn't show an MC apart from the little sheep. And honestly, the little sheep is kind of how you're represented in, like, everything on the game because they really wanted to make it so you don't have a specific gender, so anybody can really play. It's really inclusive, and I think that's amazing. And honestly, I think they are the best game to have been able to not only do that, but to pull it off as well. And so I think that is just really, really cool. But when it comes to the anime, it can be a bit hard depending on how they want to do it, because the plot line of the game is so fixated around the MC. The only way I can see them pulling it off without an MC is if they just focus on like the brothers' shenanigans rather than actually having a plot line, which is both good and bad. Like, there are otome animes that don't have actual plot lines that do really well, where it's just focused on shenanigans. Or there might be a small plot line, but it's not really important, like Utapri. But my guess is if they do go for a plot line where it's like based off of the game, they need to have an MC character in there, or else there will be no plot because the entire plot revolves around an MC. Whereas if they go in the direction where they just focus on the brother shenanigans, that's a bit easier to do, but it would be harder, in my opinion, to make full-length episodes. And like, that was only like a 3-minute clip, and I could see them like adding onto it, like them actually going on the vacation, but I don't know how much they'd be able to add to make it a 23-minute anime. So if that is the case, it might only be 5-minute episodes, which isn't a bad thing. There are tons of 5-minute episode otome animes, and some of them are some of my favorites. I think some of them pull things off really, really well, like Sweet Patisserie, or I guess Oz Mafia. That one was a very interesting, like, school AU. Or even, like, Ikemen Sengoku, like, was a 5-minute one. It's not the best, but it's one. So I do think that they could pull it off. I think it'd be a lot harder to do full 23-minute episodes if they're just focusing on the brothers' shenanigans, but I could be wrong, but I feel like it would be a bit hard to do. Whereas, like, if they do add the MC, obviously you can focus on the actual plot of the game a bit more, which I think would be really cool to see played out, especially with everything that happens involving, like, Belfi. But then they would have to, like, make an actual MC character. And I've seen something online where somebody had said that they kind of hoped that the little, like, MC sheep plush that was sitting on the table that I pointed out, somebody said that they were hoping that would literally just be the main character and that all the guys would just be interacting with this tiny little sheep plush, which would be, like, funny when you, like, imagine, like, this tiny little sheep plush trying to, like, interact with, like, Lucifer and things like that. And while I do think that would be really hilarious, I think stylistically and, like, plot-wise, like, that would not be able to happen. Especially because, you know, MC is supposed to be human and not a sheep. So I do think that there would be some issues with that, but I do appreciate the visual of this little sheep kind of just going about its business and the guy's, like, falling in love with the sheep and stuff. So from a comedic aspect, I think that would be hilarious. From an actual, like, plot perspective, I don't think that would work. So I'm really interested to see the direction that the narrative takes, because I can't foresee them actually having a plot line without an MC character, and I feel like they're not going to commit to making an MC character. But, you know, I could be wrong. We'll just have to find out, but I'm really excited to see the direction that takes, and I'm really, like, hoping, like, I know I kind of mentioned it when, like, Osmo was talking, but Osmo's voice actor, Miura Aimi, I believe is how he pronounces his name. It's spelled a bit weird in English, so I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. But he sings the, like, Sinful Indulgence, which is the original Obey Me opening for the game. And then I believe he released another one for Obey Me, but I'm forgetting the name. I actually think I liked that one better than I liked Sinful Indulgence, but Sinful Indulgence was really good. And he even released an an English version, which I thought was really cool. Celestial Ray, that was the Japan release music video. I knew I had, like, something, I was like, it's not the first anniversary, I was like, it's something else. It was for the Japan release. Celestial Ray was the name of the song. And then, obviously, he also sang Asmodeus's character song, because he voice acts. So my guess is that he's going to also sing the opening of the anime, but what I'm really hoping will happen is that all of the characters will sing the ending, because that's normally what happens in otomes. Like, normally it's either the opening or the ending song will have all of the characters kind of sing a song together. And so my guess is, because they have one voice actor who has done all the openings for the games in the past, they're going to keep him to do the opening for the anime as well. So then if they do actually have a cast song, the cast song is going to be at the end. So I think that'd be really cool and really interesting, because they have such diverse voices in their cast. So I'd be really, really interested to hear how that song goes. But that's kind of my prediction. I just kind of wanted to talk about this because I didn't have anything better to do for this Otomania episode, and I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about like April Fools and like this, which was like an entire like big thing. Like my feed was freaking out because we like, you can't just announce something as big as an anime on April Fools and then not actually confirm anything until the next day. Because if it was just a joke, they would have had so much like hate and like anger directed at them, because I feel like since this is one of the most, like currently one of the most popular Otome games right now, I feel like the backlash they would have gotten from being like, oh no, this is just a joke, like April Fools, like people would have been pissed because so many people love these characters, and honestly, Obey Me has probably one of the most hands-on fan bases that I've seen for an Otome game. Especially like a mobile one. Like every single day I see new OCs. There are like some OCs that I've been following for months now because I just love like the storyline of the like OCs creators that are making for their OCs. Like I have my own OC, but they have just so many like fun times, and like Obey Me's official accounts are really good about like having like events set up to so you draw like certain themes on certain days, and it's just really great fan engagement that I feel a lot of Otome games, especially mobile ones, don't do outside of the game. Whereas Obey Me does a lot to like promote the game outside of the game by essentially utilizing their fan base and like interacting with their fan base, which I think is really, really great, because one, it's free advertisement for them, but two, like as a fan base, like it's really important to kind of feel heard and stuff, and the fact that like the official account is actually taking that time to look at your art, and not only look at your art but be like, hey guys, like in honor of like this thing happening, let's do like this week where each day like something is different, and like they get really hands-on and their own artists will share like official artwork having to do with that theme, or they'll release like already newspaper clips that have to do with something. And so it's just really hands-on, and so I'm still annoyed that they tried to do it as like an April Fool's, but I think it was very risky on their part, because if it hadn't been a real announcement, it could have backfired very easily on them, because they do have such a devoted fan base that has wanted an anime for a while. So I think if they had done this and then were like, oh, we're just joking, a lot of people would be pissed off. But it ended up being real, and for that I'm super excited. It gives me something to look forward to for the summer anime. I will definitely be giving a review of it once it's done. My guess is it's just going to be a summer anime. I can't see it going into the fall. I don't think it's going to be 24 episodes. I think it's going to be 12 to 13. Just because that's typical Otome, especially if it's one where they're not going to have a full plot. It'll definitely just be like a short one. But I'm still excited. I love the animation. Like if they keep this animation style throughout the entire anime, like I will be so happy. I love the style of anime that they have. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think they're gonna do with the anime, because I'd really be interested in hearing other people's predictions and kind of where you guys think the story is going to go. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I release more Otomania videos or just other fun videos on my channel. Otomania comes out every other Monday, so keep a lookout for it. And I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye.